इतना सफर है कुछ होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में। इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है।
Just want to check, is the sound audible?
Yes.
Yes.
चाय की सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Thank you so much, Dheeraj, for the lovely motivational video. We at Franchise India truly believes in Itna Hi Sab To Khwaab Hai, and we are ready every day with our new initiative towards our premium brands and potential business buyers. With this introduction, we welcome you to the 29th edition of Business Opportunity with Chai webinar series. Again, a great initiative by Franchise India, where we have interaction with our panelists Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. We welcome Gaurav sir, Sonia ma'am for this particular session. We also welcome our brand of the day, which is workfromhome.com, and we have privilege that Dr. Rajiv B Sharma is here with us, who is the Group MD and CEO for TASA Asia Group, to share his understanding, his experience with all of us. Welcome, Rajiv sir. Over to you to explain us your journey. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you, Gaurav. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Archana and Dheeraj. It's a privilege to be with all of you guys here today. I think I will take around next 25 to 30 minutes to explain what we do, how we do. The agenda will be like that. I will just briefly speak about, work from home. As you can see, we own the brand called workfromhome.com. Then I will talk of a social problem, what as a country we are tackling, and what opportunity we bring to tackle that solution of a social problem. Are you guys able to hear me?
Very well.
Am I loud and clear? Okay, thank you.
Rajiv ji, welcome. And
thank you, Gaurav. Thank you very much. So I'll start. So let's see what's the concept of work from home, which usually people call it WFH. It is basically wherever you are into a caretaking and you want to do a paid work. That concept, and by the way, it may be new to India, but for the world it's not new. For example, I'm seeing my brother from last 10 years working from home. Obviously, there is one more concept called working remotely, which is very, very near to work from home. Now, if you're doing a work from home, right, what are the broad essentials and it's for whom? First, if you have a caretaking responsibility, caretaking means if you have children, elderly people, you have to be home, which we find currently a lot of educated women have to be home. To give an example, every year it is estimated that with each level of promotion, around 15% of the women leave their jobs. So because they have to take responsibility. Or if you have to work part-time. Third thing, if you're looking at a flexible work hours. And fourth, obviously, if you are looking at a financial freedom, you say, hey, I also need to earn and contribute to the society, to the family. So work from home, WFH is for these people. Now, what are the essentials of work from home? It's not, we can just work in a bedroom or work in your sofa. You need to have a dedicated work office space. It is highly recommended. And these are, by the way, international rules. Those are not rules made by me. They say you need to have a defined work schedule. To give you my example, when I started doing work from home, I started my schedule in the morning from 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Then I used to, break for lunch, have a siesta, read, and again back on my desk from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I had to do a later evening because I am also interacting a lot with international people because of time zone. So I have defined my work schedule the way I work. Of course, you need to have very, very clear boundaries of time and space. What time you want to work, what space you're going to work. So these are the essentials. And obviously, you need to have your right technology and internet. Now, additional to that, now today we are going to speak of work from home entrepreneurs. Now, work from home is basically what people look at if you have a job and you're working, for the organization, you're working from home. Let's example now, all of the Franchiseindia team, what I believe is working from home. But what about entrepreneurs? That's people like me, Gaurav, Sonia. So what for us? So what are the essential things? Apart from what we see for work from home job, they are, because now there is no boss. There is no set rule. There is no KRA which you need to pursue. There is no persuasion that you need to do this much business or this task is to be done. So you have to set your own goal. One of the most important things when you're an entrepreneur, work from home. What else? Now, as there's no set rules, you are not following any process of the organization. You can afford to be disruptive. You can try and work on your own way, own style. Then obviously, this thing is never given when you're in a job, except if you're a sales job. You have to become a sailor because you have to acquire business. You have become an entrepreneur. So goal setting and sales are the two important things which get added, which is not there as part of the job. And obviously, you can afford to de-stress, as I told you. You can afford to grow. As I give an example, I read a lot now in that break of 2 hours or 3 hours, which I take. I sometimes don't feel like working. I just go and binge onto see a Prime Video, right? So I do what I like to do. I take naps. Power naps is what I take. And obviously, the third important thing, when you become a work from home entrepreneur, you have to look at your money. You have to ensure that your money, what you have, runs longer till the time your revenue starts coming in. So looking at this work from home entrepreneur concept, we as a TASA group have now launched, or we are launching a business line which is on two new economic phenomena which are happening now. One is called gig economy. By the way, now you will start hearing this word a lot. Gig economy, gig economy. So when you are a work from home job, work from home entrepreneur especially, you are joining a gig economy where you're your own boss. And the other is a shared economy. Currently, it is said that if you want to be on your own, you don't have to own the resources, you can share the resources. Now, these are two economic words you will hear a lot as we keep on going by and as we open up. Gig economy, shared economy. So whatever concept we're going to talk today is going to include gig economy, shared economy, work from home job, work from home entrepreneur. All of this has been encompassed into one product line or one platform, which is workfromhome.com. Of course, in our work from home, there's one extra K. It's a platform as a group we have created, and we will keep on launching different products as we go by. Currently, we are going to talk of one product at the end of this session. Now, after introducing work from home, I'm a very, very keen observer of social problems, because that has been my journey as an entrepreneur. I study a lot of social problems. So one of the social problem, the areas of social problem, especially in youth, because as you know, we work with youth, we are in the education sector. So there is a social problem. So let me just throw some numbers to you to realize before we come to that challenge and problem what we have. See, India has 140 million population. That's the estimate of 2020, which is 140 crores is what the population. And any idea how many youth? You'll be surprised. We have 48 crore youth, which is 480 million. Now, youth is defined by the UNESCO, people with age to 15 to 25. And India has approximately 34% of India's population is in this bracket. By the way, if you take from young to till 25, it's around 45, 46%. But this population 15 to 25 is 480 million, which is 48 crores. Out of that, 130 million or 13 crore students have, or people, youth, have no education, no training, no employment. Are you getting a hint of the challenge we are sitting on? Now let's talk of employment. It is said, and this is Minister of HR data, not mine, that the employable engineers which come out of our engineering college is only 43. I'm not talking of underemployment. I'm just talking of employable. MBAs, 47%. And if you're a normal graduate, 30%. So there are chances, if you're a normal graduate, which you've done BA, BCom, any of those courses, only 30% of the chances that you'll get an employment. Let's look at the third angle. Are you aware that in India, by the way, India is known as suicide capital of the world. Every 1 hour, a student does suicide in India. That's 28 students a day. We have the highest in our society also, highest suicide rate is between 15 to 29. Now you match with the youth population. And last but not the least, in student depression, every 4 out of 10 students have passed through a depression phase at some point of time in his life. When I say life, is 15 to 25. So our youth, which is our asset, is also our challenge. I am driven by a quote by our old ex-president, Dr. Abdul Kalam, when he said that the biggest challenge to India is not poverty. The biggest challenge to India is educated, unemployed youth. So this one statement has fueled a lot. And this is one statement which helped me get my purpose in my life, which I realized around 10, 12 years back. Now, if this is a social challenge, what we have, now, what is the problem? The first problem, it's a psychological problem of students. Why students get into psychological problems? Because in our school system or a college system, education system, there's a never-ending cycle of rote learning. We are not able to differentiate between the students, the type of students, their learning styles. Added to that, whatever students learn, we say they are not being taught sufficiently, they go to an evening tuition class, or they go to test preps. They need to go to IIT JEE or to NEET classes or to BBA coaching classes if they're not going for the, let's say the school or the college classes. So that doesn't leave any me time to the students. There's a pre-decided career. I think if you remember that movie of 3 Idiots, where Farhan, when he's born, his father, when he's born, says, hey, ye to engineer banega. So in most of our families, it is pre-decided what you will do. I can give an example. In my family, we have 64 engineers. So it was expected that my daughter, when she was choosing her career, she will become an engineer. And when we helped her choose something else, it was a tough time explaining the family about it. And obviously the fourth, this expectation of family and friends. Everybody's, when anybody comes in a house, a family or a friend or relative asks you, kya kar rahe ho beta? Kya kar rahe ho bache? Aapko kya banna hai? Right? And I think it has gone to a height. It is now this question being asked to kids which are 5, 6 years old. He has got no clue what he will do in his life. But that's a very, very normal question what we have. Let's look at the other problem of suicide. Why suicide? First, students don't get emotional support in time of crisis. Are you aware that the age from 15, the teenager, is an age where in a body so many changes are happening? It's like a nuclear plant. वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं विस्फोट होता है उनके उनकी body में, and they get emotional. When they don't get any direction in the things of crisis, right? I'm saying one of the things they look at is ending their life. Second, individual expectation too high. उनके बचपन से, by the way, I will use English and Hindi both, to get a better understanding. बचपन से ऐसा दिमाग में भरा जाता है कि you have to do this, you are so good, you will, 90% तो कुछ नहीं है, 99% things like this. To give an example, I'm sure of Delhi, but in Bombay, I can give an example. If you have to take admission in NM, in a commerce, the cutoff is 95%. So if you don't get 95%, you get now not getting admission in 11th standard in NM, or Xavier's, or other HR colleges. Similarly in Delhi, you have Shriram College, or big colleges where this, which is putting a lot of expectation in the mind of the students and kids. Now, of course, I think it's repetition, there's a parental and a peer pressure, and obviously there's academic stress, because everybody is taught in that same way, and everybody is supposed to be engineer or a doctor or a CA. Okay, that's all. So if this is the problem the kids are going through, what's the solution? So obviously, I think in a limited thing, we cannot change the education system. It is being changed, but it's a very, very long drawn process, right? Sorry.
I think there's some connection issue at Rajiv ji's end. Let's wait for 1 minute. We'll be joining back. I think by the time he comes in, I'll just try to take the session ahead in terms of giving you overview why we kept this session, because we felt that a lot of inquiries Franchiseindia is getting on people who are requesting to see opportunities from work from home. And work from home opportunity is not new. As I say, a lot of professionals have been using this opportunity for many years, doctors, lawyers, and so on and so forth. So as Rajiv ji said, it always needs some infrastructure in your home so that you are able to, especially if you have expecting some people to come and meet you and things like that. At this stage, because we're not going out, so this is not so much of a requirement, and everybody's thinking that how you can work digitally sitting at home and do some business. So it's a very careful selection of what business you want to be part of, what businesses you can run efficiently, and this can become a long time structure. And how do you able to work on two very strong principles? One I call productivity, because statistics say that people who are working from home also, for at least for corporates, 70% of workforce is not very productive. So how do you really, when you run your own business working from home, you're still very productive, because some people, while from comfort viewpoint, like to be at home, but in the meantime, can you take Archana with Rajiv ji? Is he joining?
Yes, sir. I've just checked. So he's joining us back. He's relogging the call. He's facing some network problem.
So one is what I call the productivity. Productivity is self-discipline. It also needs a lot of tools. You need to be more equipped, and you need to also, because it has to be self-driven. So you need to be self-driven, and you need to create environment so that you can drive objectivity day-to-day basis, week-on-week basis, month-on-month basis. That's one part of that. Second part of, as I said, you need to really see that how do you collaborate more than ever. While you would work alone, but you need to be more collaborative with a lot of other peers across board. Sometimes these are a part of the network you are in, and sometimes you need to build your own network. And work from home also would need a lot of careful work in terms of how do you position yourself out there, and you create your own brand and the reach. So these are things which are extremely important from work from home. I will also like Sonia to add a few points from her side in terms of what is your opinion on work from home, Sonia?
So, thank you guys for joining in today on this webinar. While we wait for Dr. Rajiv to join in, I'll share my own perspective about work from home. And today we're hearing this word more than ever we have heard ever. While the Western countries were the first one to embrace work from home, but India never did. But the reality now after Corona has been a new life altogether, where people have started embracing work from home culture. And despite many companies which are resuming operations today, both companies and employees, they're worried about going to their offices. If I go by the stats, we had some stats which are shared by Dr. Rajiv. Today, as a country, as an economy, what I was reading a few days back, we have close to about 65 million MSMEs, which employs close to 150 million people. And apart from this, there are 130 odd million people who are self-employed. And out of the MSME, we have almost 1/3 of this which are currently in danger, where survival is impossible, as it is said. And the self-employed are most vulnerable at this stage. And even the most successful professionals who have been working in MNCs and have been having a successful career are also facing a big challenge today, which is their maybe their jobs and maybe the strengths they had are not relevant. And we have another 400 million workers in the informal economy, which Dr. Rajiv talked about. So if you look at these statistics and you look at the danger today, we see there is a big fallout of jobs that are going to happen. People in the older times, when people were not working out of offices, they were working out of their homes. It was considered they were not working or they were jobless when they worked out of home. But if you see how Western countries have evolved, and we see that happening in India, they were forced to leave corporate jobs as the result of a lot of things, which were companies downsizing. It was early retirement, and we have seen the last few recessions, which also led to a lot of shedding of this workforce. And also for reasons related to children care or elderly care at their homes. But whatever the reason has been, but we are seeing this trend of work from home coming back. And we have read companies like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, all the big techies embracing work from home, not forever, but for a certain period of time. One thing which I really get intrigued about is very interesting, and I hope and I think everybody would relate to it. We have embraced technology in our daily life when we talk about socializing, with WhatsApp, our social media. But every time it came to work, we always wanted face-to-face meetings. This was one exception we always made, and we're seeing that exception also now go away with technology and facilities like Zoom coming in, where we have a bigger interaction with people, which have started to happen. If I also see, while Western countries had started embracing that much early, India was somehow, that's my own personal opinion, and and everybody can have their own perspective of doing that. We have not been very productive. Our own experience of how we have run our companies and other companies that we're associated with, and we speak to a lot of companies, we speak to a lot of brands. We have seen that issue of non-performance or non-productivity, where people become very inactive. And one is this, and the second is not a lot of industries or sectors are ready for work from home. There's some sectors like IT and maybe education to an extent, which currently has embraced, but a lot of workers today are still not ready. And second, a lot of tasks which cannot still be done remotely as we speak. So what we're looking today is the next normal, which requires all of us, all the businesses, to reinvent the business models. And even as we respond to the aftershocks of the crisis, there's a bigger need today, how we reinvent the model. Some of the industries have been structurally or fundamentally affected by this corona, while there are certain industries, like I said, education, IT, there's no fundamental change in the businesses. And it would need a little bit of restructuring of how the businesses need to be maybe restructured. One biggest thing when it comes to work from home is your own personal operating model. More than the companies, how they operate, how they work, I feel it all starts from within. It all starts from self. We all need to figure out how we change our existing business model, which starts from discipline. How we start our day, how we do our meetings, and there are a lot of. I was speaking to one day, one of my sisters. She's overseas, and I spoke to her, and she said she's busy. She'll call me after office. And I was wondering, if that was the time when we had lockdowns. And I spoke to her after that. I said, "You were at your office, you working?" And she said, "Nope, I had work from home." And they need to be logged in from morning till evening, and they have to be sitting in front of their systems and working and reporting. So while Western countries are are the first one to adapt, but we need to build that operating model within ourselves. Today, if you look at the recent layoffs, and a lot of people who are still employed currently will also find their jobs which might become irrelevant, or they would not be able to go back to their jobs anymore. So and as far as work from home is concerned, I will like to say collaboration is one big thing that we all need to do. We might not be best at what we do today, and we're not experts at what we are doing. This would need a lot of collaboration with people around us. It could be at our home, our families we need to work with, because India is a very different culture. We have smaller houses, the entire family stays together, and we have seen all kind of possible hindrances one sees in the way that we operate at home. And collaboration also means the businesses that you want to consider working at home, which means if I talk about franchising, because somebody has tried, people have tested, and they would be able to share their own experiences about how it needs to be operated. These companies share their tools, they share their processes and systems, which I personally feel makes you more equipped to work and handle the situation of work from home. Second is location. And every time we talked about businesses, we always felt property, the location was the most prime thing, which today is not. A lot of businesses which were only dependent on prime location, prime properties, don't so as we speak, don't seem to be relevant anymore. At least I'm not saying for a long future, but at least for the next few months, immediate or the midterm, as we see. And businesses like education can still be run from home. And there is one thing which I want to talk, a lot of people look at work from home as a option, which is as a hobby. I'm sorry, do we have Dr.
So
Shah?
Rajiv is back, so I don't want to lose him because he has
sorry, I missed, while I was speaking. Sorry, Dr. Rajiv.
Rajiv, over to you. We don't want to take a chance because you are in Bombay, and I know you're struggling with your network. So please go on, and I think good you're back. So over to you, Rajiv. You have to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, so I'm now using my mobile. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, very well.
Okay. Okay, so I will have to find a way to.
Otherwise, Dheeraj, you can take the slide share and you.
Yes, Dheeraj, if you can help me with the slide share, please.
Sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, I think you have to go back slightly.
Just let me know where do you want to go. Yeah.
So you have to go back. You come far. Yes. So we were talking of the societies, what the students are able to do. So if this is a problem, then what is the solution? Next thing. So see, we cannot change the education system. Okay, that's a very long down process. But what we can do, we can counsel, we can guide, we can advocate our youth. Actually, this is one area which is in our hand. So we'll talk about this more. Yeah, next. So what this creates an opportunity. So this creates what as a social for business. Now, if you all look at it, I think many of your parents, see what is the biggest fear, challenge, and a potential for a parent and a student. And by the way, it's same. They fear about it. They have a challenge in front of us, and that's the biggest potential what they have. And that is employable career. So what is the opportunity for us is to create help children, you to have an employable career. So with this opportunity, we have come up with a solution. Yes. So the solution, if we look at it, is, currently we have 3 areas where we look at education. One is the education which they're doing. Second is alternate education. So alternate education is where whatever not being taught in your classrooms, can we add that? We call that skill. We call that, additional development, self-development. There's so many things it is known as, co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities. A lot of words are used in this area. So that's alternate education. But the third pillar, which will make an employable career, is career guidance. And a career guidance or a career guide not only guides in the education, but also guides in the alternate education. So based on all this combination, you will have employable career, or a child will have employable career. So this is the solution which is there. Now, using this solution, we have launched and presenting to you the education and career advocacy services. This is brought from workfromhome.com, which is part of our TASA group. We have other brands too, which will quickly speak lead. So let's look at this opportunity, which is a business opportunity, social business opportunity, which is brought by us. So something about this industry, the market size. As I think I already told you, we are talking of 480 million youth, which is 48 crore youth, which is the potential in this area. But are you aware that India needs 1.5 million career counselors? That is 19 lakh career counselors. This is based on international standard of 1:250. By the way, in a country like US, you have, for 54 million students, you have 2.4 million counselors, which means every 22 student has a counselor. But here we're talking only 1:250. And are you aware how many we have? We have only 1 lakh counselors. And out of that too, only 10,000 are certified and trained. The rest of them, we call them the designated counselors. So it means if there's a teacher, if there is a professor, he is designated as a counselor in a school or in a college. And by the way, you'll be surprised by the business volume. This is worth around 5,000 crores a year. That's the business size of this market, what we are talking of. Now, let's know about this industry. This industry, by the way, is unstructured, unorganized, and unscientific. Okay. And this data, what I'm talking to you, is not my data, right? As for Ministry of Education, every school is supposed to have a counselor, right? But you'll be surprised, 93% of schools don't have a counselor on board. 92% of the students don't get a career-related guidance from a school. And 85% of the schools, 85% of the students don't know the option they can choose for higher education. Now, this is a big problem what we have. In this problem area, if this is the problem area, what as an organization we have done, now we have come up with solutions in 5 areas. So one is school students, because every solution, it is a different solution for every segment. So we have something for schools, we have something for college students, then for young professionals. So up to 8 years of experience, because young professionals also, they start working, they find, hey, when education is kiya, this is not the career which I want to do. So they look at guidance. Then we, international education, that's the area of our forte. We are an international education company. And we have created product and solutions for institutes where we have labs, advocacy labs, education institute. It could be a school, it could be a college. So our solution had been divided into 5 areas of 5 segments on which we are going to focus in. And what we are talk today, what we're talking is the solution for people for level 1, which is for school students. And over a period of time, you will grade yourself and go up to level 5. So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, based on the solution, because see, you understand that this is a very, very sensitive. We are actually talking of the next generation. So we have to be very careful. We have to be trained. We have to have right tools, right knowledge. So this is a very, very sensitive topic, what we are talking about, right? Hence we have, so you have to upgrade yourself. We upgrade you, help you upgrade over level of 5 area. And hence these 5 levels and solutions have been brought in. Yes. Next, please. So our products, what we have done, the products have been divided into 6 areas. One is called Career 2, Career Counseling, Career Mapping, Career Map, Plan, Career Admission, and Career Abroad. So in Career Tool, one of the basic things what we need to have when you start this thing is to do the assessment. So we have tools for children assessment. We have even tools for parental assessment, because parents have a very, very important role in guiding their child on a regular basis. Right? So there are 3 pillars as I'm talking to you, something what happened in the school, something what parents, and third as a career guide, what you're able to help. In career, like career counselor, there are different level of counseling. various interventions. So we have intervention as early as every month to as late as every 6 months, depending on the level where the students come in. In career map, we help children choose things like the program they can have, the subject selection, making their entire career path. Career goals are their vision board. Is we help them make their vision boards in that what they want to have in their life, in their career, right? All of that does in career map. In career planning, we start executing. So we do execute ourselves, we execute with third parties, we recommend, then the students can do on their own. And then we also help students get into admission. So we don't promise admission, but all modern institutes have a way where you need a special help, which is not known to most of the students. So we guide them into admission, and obviously the 6th module, if they want to go abroad, we help them to go abroad. So these are 6, let's say, product lines or areas where we have as a product and services for our advisors. Yes. Obviously, this happens from 8th standard to PhD. So we prefer picking up kids at 8th standard, but that does not mean that if you have lost it. So they are, the products have been designed that you can come up at any level. It can be 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, even in college, first year, second year, last year. So every level, the product has a flexibility of, giving up. So what we are offering with this is what we are calling that it's a bouquet of 41 services. It's a scientifically researched, personalized. So for every student, it will be personalized, goal-based, because we help a student to find his goal, goal-based education and career guidance, which will finally lead to employable career. So that's the offer of the product, what we are bringing on the table to all of you. Yes. So now this is for whom? This is a full-time or a part-time entrepreneurship opportunity. You will be called an education and a career advocate. That's first you will have. Second, what will be your role? You will have various, as I told you, you have a role of a guide, leading, and you're directing the course of a student, course of the action for every student. So obviously, to start with, you will have to prepare a list of your prospects, what is there in near you, in your network, contact, society. It's a SOHO model, small office, home office, it's a local area marketing office. You will have to connect with them. By the way, we'll teach you all of this, what you're talking of. Will be trained, taught about it. You will have to access the student. You will have to counsel the student and continuously counsel him. You have to prepare his education plan. You will have to review on a monthly basis, quarterly basis, 6-monthly basis. You have to help them initiate admission process, and you have to continuously be in touch with the child at the entire level. As he said, we can start from 8th and be with him in his master's, doctor's level. So that's the role. You'll be trained into it. What support we give, obviously we are going to give you all our products and services. At this point of time, we have 41 of them to start with. To give an example, let's say a self-development training is what we call is one only, right? So similarly, we have 41 products and services for the student. We will train you, coach you, we will handhold you on a regular basis, on a continuous basis. You will be certified, qualified, Indian certification, external certification, international certification. You will be given technology tools to do your business, because without that, as I said, it's very important that I need to give you the technology tools. We will train you, teach you your business, marketing, lead generation, guidance, support. You will be given an earning opportunity from our side. As an organization, obviously you will do on your own, you bring your own business, but we'll also give you the opportunity with the leads which come to us. And obviously you will get empaneled with the largest, South Asia's largest international education organization, which is the TASA Asia group. So this is our support we are going to give you. And in this, by the way, training and coaching is a very, very important part, right? You have to go through an extensive training tool, handholding to be part of this system. The next. Yes, we already told you will be empaneled. And I think many of it, this is nothing secret. What are your revenue sources? Your revenue sources obviously are going to be the students who will pay for your consulting services. as you're going to support them on an annual basis, there is something called an annual service fee the students will be charged. And obviously, if any of the students who want to go international, whatever you refer to your sister company, TASA Asia, that's other income you'll get. And because of COVID and the situation what we had, we have slashed our entry fee, entry support, or whatever word you want to use, to 30,000 only at this point of time, from 1 lakh. And this is what we're trying to help all of you come on your feet, because we know a lot of places people don't have jobs, they want to do something on their own, or they are housewives, retired people who want to get into the business. So this is a social for business for us. This is our way of making a tribe, making a community where we can help the students, the youth of ours, who are the next generation, who will make India great. And for you, last not the least, what is your takeaway? Your takeaway is we are trying to solve a social problem. Please understand what I have learned in so many years, that if there's a purity of purpose in what you do, you get abundance in life. Now, abundance in life is either, it could be financial abundance, it could be abundance of wishes, it could be anything abundance in your life, abundance of happiness. All of that come if you have purity of purpose. So our intent is purity of purpose. We want to help the youth of this country to make India great. Though I'm using Trump's word, but that's a fact of life. I can use a word called Atmanirbhar. I can use any other word, but we are tackling a social problem to ensure that we become a Sone Ki Chidiya, what we call off. And of course, actionable from you is, join today. You can connect with the Franchiseindia team. Now a quick, let's say one slide about us as a group. As founders, we have more than 100 years of experience in education and training industry. By the way, I've been connected with Gaurav for now most of practically 15 years, Gaurav, if I'm not mistaken. As a brand, we have a legacy of more than 29 years. We have been in the space of education. We pioneered international education in India. Currently, we are South Asia's largest international education organization. We are a B2B organization at this point of time. We partner with more than 600 international universities. We help manage 25 local universities and 21 high schools at this point of time. As I said, our network is pretty large. We work with more than a network partners at this point of time. We have presence in 8 countries. And of course, our office is in 5 countries. So that's a quick introduction about us as an organization, as a team, as a group. Obviously, few credentials of ours, but if you're to go next, I think I will ask you to connect with Franchiseindia team, and I'm ready for the Q&A. And over to you, Gaurav and Sonia.
Thank you, Rajesh. It's always delight, and it's very, clearly your passion for what you want to bring the change clearly reflects, and I think it's an apt timing for work from home, because I feel that people are, and before I think there was because of network, Sonia and I was sharing our thoughts on work from home, because we feel that we are getting a lot of requests, and that's why I reached out to you that if we can share an idea on how work from home can be done. Because work from home is required for people, both for the compulsion they are currently in, also by the comfort they've all found in last 2-3 months in terms of they've been staying closely, especially for women, as you rightly said, they are elders, because they people who still have a very active lifestyle, but they don't want to really go out to work at different places, and especially in Delhi's and Bombay's and Bangalore, we were spending like 3, 4, 5 hours unproductive in traffics and so on and so forth. So work from home can be a great opportunity, but work from home also needs a very strong discipline, and also build your own networks, which continues to motivate. So it's a great idea, because you have touched upon this, what I call career counseling as an opportunity. And career counseling is one underserviced, not structured as from a training and capability viewpoint. I think that also comes from you. So I will like to really start with a little bit of a business model. And if you can give a perspective, just for a lot of audience, because they've been writing question, is it 30 lakhs or I think so. I think there was a mistake which was done which also shocked me, because I slept with 30,000 in the night, and in the morning it became 30 lakhs. So I got a little bit of a shock of my life, So, but it's a 30,000 rupees opportunity just for our audience. It's a service which Rajiv ji wants to give. It's not really income generation for his group. So he wants to really enable a lot of people who are in home and can be empowered with just about 30,000 rupees. They can start a career. I don't think there is any other opportunity available in that price point. So price point has no meaning. It's a very small, it's not even a small certificate course you do. You will end up spending 30,000. Maybe attending a conference or a webinar or something like that can cost you 30,000 rupees. So it's a career which you want to intend to get into. So just for shifting the focus from the investment side to a little bit on how this business model works. What are the 3 or 4 steps which you would tell to people, and if they want to start this career and start working from home? One, what should be their first 3 to 4 months go to market? And second, what kind of earning potential they can do, what kind of fees they can charge, how they can reach out to students and so on and so forth. And career counseling has also, just to add, is B2B2C, which means that it can be B2C, it can be B2B2C, which means that you can go and do with schools and a lot of other institutions and counsel there. So over to you, Rajiv.
Yeah, thank you, Gaurav. First, I will start from the last question first. Yes, it is. You can do for the individual students, and you can also do in a structure with an institutional student. So what we are offering is a platform. So, and what we, as you said correctly, we are not even, asking the investment which is equivalent to a training amount. Okay, because the entire platform, tools, technologies, products which we have creating, partnership, alliances, everything is coming as part of it. And obviously, the final part to it is managing the institutions. As I said, if you notice the 5th level, what we're talking of, where we will ask partners to manage the institution brought by them, or we will bring it to them, to those institutional partnerships. So that's the first. Now, how does it make economic sense? See, every student, what we are expecting, a student, by the way, I think this question I asked to most of the parents: how much money do you think are you spending for a child's education from KG to PG? And you will not believe 99.9% parents get it wrong, right? The usual figure which comes is 20-25 lakhs. You will be surprised, right? Is that, of course, if you study in all government colleges and, the thing, that's fine. But let's say a fee in IIT now itself is 2.5 lakh rupees a year. If you're doing an IM, which is government, it's a 16 lakh rupees is the fee for 2 years. The actual money the parents spend in the range of 50 lakhs in India. It's a minimum. Okay. And if the kids goes abroad, it goes maybe 1 crore plus. Now I ask parents, you're spending so much money in education. Now, what percentage of the money do you think you can spend to the child, to help the child to be guided on a continuous basis, right? Let's say 1%, 2%. So that's what we are aiming at. We are saying that for a child, it should be around, we can start in the range of 25,000 rupees, where we will do the assessment, parental assessment, give him the guidance, the first level, and annual AMC we are recommending of 12,000 rupees a year, which is, which comes to 1,000 rupees a month from the second year, right? And the ROI, if you just do 3 students, you get your ROI, and so you get your money back. 3 students is what you do, you get your money back. And the first step I ask people is, first look at your own database, your network, your local area marketing, right? Your local area where you are, where you reside, your network. So make that database and say, in kiske bacche kahan par padh rahe hain, right? What have they need? So that's the first step for you to start doing that. And in this, very important, you need to have experience. Let me be very upfront with you, because we can train, we can teach, but I cannot create that experience. So as I said, working ladies who are now at home, retired people, they carry some 30-40 years of experience, right? Beautiful. Because with our training and their own experience, they'll be able to guide students very well. By the way, currently also guidance happens, but that guidance happens on a 30-year-old. For example, what I've done 30 years, I'm guiding a student or my child, which for further 30 years. So do you think how flat that guidance can be, right? So that's where we come in as an organization, where we train you, teach you, give you tools on the latest guidance and what is going to happen 30 years down the line. Have I answered your question, Gaurav?
We are very helpful, and I will take two more questions linked on the business model. One is training, what kind of training which we're providing, how the training is conducted, is done digitally, what is the duration, and what certificate you get after the training, and is there an ongoing training also? So that's one part of the training part. And the second question I have is there ongoing royalties, and what is the term of the agreement which you become a work from home partner?
Okay. Perfect. So I'll answer all three of them. First, as for training is concerned, the first level of training in the first instance, by the way, it is going to be a continuous training, because as things keep on coming up, especially the products, if I'm launching a new product or new thing, I need to train them, right? So, but there's a first level of training which will happen in the range of 25 to 28 credit hours. Okay, the level training, and for each level there is a training. But to go from L1 to L2 is, for example, you don't even need the, apart from training, you need to do minimum counseling. So what we're recommending that only if you do that's a 20 student counseling, you can think of going to L2, right? But the L1 training is around 25 to 28 credit hours, depending on what background the people have. So for example, if you're from background of, teaching, coaching, professor, there may be slightly less thing required. Right. If you are not from the background, slightly more training is required. The training obviously is going to happen digital, right? As you can say in this price points, as of now, we cannot do physical. We intend to do physical, but it will be in groups, city-wise, we'll keep on doing. We have a very clear target of making this a tribe of 5,000 advisors, career guide in the next 5 years. And I have a personal mission that we should guide and counsel 5 lakh students with this help of tribe in the next 5 years. By the 5th year, that's what you do every year. So that's the first thing of training. Continuous training is going to be continuous. The hand-holding also is going to be continuous. So 24/7 hand-holding. Because you may be counseling student, you get stuck up somewhere. So they will be 24/7 hand-holding given to the students, to the advisors. So that's related to question related to training now. What was the second question, Gaurav?
Royalties and the term of the agreement.
Okay. Yeah, so in this, it's a perpetual agreement. Okay, we are not talking of a typical, it is for that time. You keep on growing, right? And keep on going to from level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. At each level, you will be paying some money for training. But the money is not the only part. You need to have a sufficient experience. You should have done, there are criteria which we created for you to go to next level. As far as royalties is concerned, whatever a student pays to us, depending on the product line, we share anywhere from 40 to 50% of the revenue. So when I said at 3 students, the ROI comes, it means I'm only talking of 40% what advisor will get, right? With that 40%, 3 students, he gets his money back. Right. So the royalty, because please understand, I'm continuously giving, I'm giving the entire tech platform, continuous platform. I'm giving all the products, right? Continuous training is being given to people, hand-holding, admissions is being done, because those are all coming, entire operations is actually on our hand. If you look at the entire thing. So customer acquisition and a customer retention, let me put that way, is a responsibility of an advisor. Rest, all the responsibility is taken over by the organization, by the platform.
Very helpful, very helpful. So it's a perpetual agreement. It's more licensing, and obviously because TASA Asia is one of the largest B2B international education, I think so. Even a lot of referrals would come from there for admissions abroad, and just for giving our audience size, there are about 1 million kids who go abroad and study, and this is one of the largest industries and economies of UK and US. And Australia and other countries and Europe largely have a very big market coming from India. And India is still not the number 1. I mean, China and other countries contribute even bigger number. But and that's why most of the universities in US and Europe, and they have never opened online education for Indians, because they know if they open up, a lot of kids would stop coming to their countries and not spend. And People would spend up to $1 million if they want to really send their kids for post-graduation and so forth. So I will also like Rajiv ji a little bit on TASA Asia's business model, because a lot of our investors who are on the call might like to also look at opportunities not from work from home, but also if they want to get into the international student advisory business. While we can take an independent session later, but just maybe a 2-minute kind of thing on that business, so it will give a confidence on what you do on that side, and then I will pass it on to Sonia to take up questions.
Okay, thank you, Gaurav. Just a quick brief about TASA Asia. We were earlier known as TASMAC, which actually pioneered international education in India. We have been running our own B schools, business schools in 3 cities of India, London. Then around 5-6 years back, we slightly changed the business model. Now we are known as the largest B2B international education or a study abroad company in South Asia. We work with more than 600 international universities, 23 countries. We help approximately around 5,000 to 8,000 students every year to go abroad. Of course, we have offices in India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Singapore, Dubai, and we take the entire process, end-to-end process. It means including building up the curriculum or the CV, what we call, of a student, so that he can get admission into a good university, able to get scholarships. So our process starts right from there and helping them get admissions. We even go to the extent of, by the way, we do this through our franchisee network, and for which we are very closely working with Gaurav on the same. We also, which is a retail business, we also have an institutional business. As I said, we have our network in the Indian universities where we manage the international office of Indian universities. Currently, we work with 25 of them, and that also is a franchisee option because we don't, as I told you, we are a B2B company. So we don't practically, except for 1 or 2 outlets which are our own, we like to bring in partners, because as a group, we strongly believe in the entrepreneurship ability of India and our people, and this is our way of growing. So the other franchisee opportunity is a retail franchisee and obviously institutional franchisee. Institutional, both colleges and universities and schools too. And those are franchisee models through which we work. We have a pretty wide agent network also. These are like, more of licensing and, like a dealership in all the countries. So we operate send students from India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Middle East, Dubai area, Singapore, Cambodia, Malaysia. So we send students from all these areas to around 23 countries. That's in short about us.
Sure. That's very, very helpful. And if people want to really put it a full model of a study abroad kind of a franchise, then they have aggregated all the major universities of the world and build a very large size. So you can reach Franchiseindia, and we will be able to align that call. So there are 2 opportunities in today's webinar, and people are asking that question. One is a work from home opportunity, which is business counseling, or the student counseling. The student counseling would first have revenues coming from counseling revenues, and you also have a very large referrals when you actually refer students for admissions within India and also overseas. Now I'll pass it on to Sonia. Sonia, your remarks on the industry and some of the questions you would like to take up.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv. I think while you were missing, we took on to the webinar and we started communicating. And I would say it was very insightful for us to hear, and especially coming from you. You spent almost 3 decades in the education industry. You worked with all the big companies starting from AgTech, and they were the early companies that even started franchising at that point in time. I remember there was a time when Franchiseindia used to do exhibitions. We only had education companies exhibiting, and people used to come and ask if we ever sold any other franchisee apart from education. So education, of course, is the foundation, so to say, for societies, for individuals, and for the generation Alpha, Z, millennials, everybody. If you look at the Indian education sector, which is amongst the largest in the world, we have an extensive network of more than 1.4 million schools, universities, about 850 universities, and about 40,000 odd higher education institutes. And we also happen to be the second largest source of international students after China. And we have a lot of students going from India, going to international markets like US, Canada, Australia. And we also had some stats from RBI where the parents today were spending on tuition fees and hostels have gone almost, by 44% from 2014 to 2018. And our current spend, which is in records, is close to about 2.8 odd billion plus. And also the age group that you mentioned, we have a big age group of these college goers. It's a big cohort of people who really want international education these times. And I would say there are a lot of situations which have also made this possible, also because one is aspiration of people to go internationally and study abroad. The other big issue, which is very, I would say very, very important to be mentioned, is there's lack of, while you have 52 odd institutions offering opportunities to individuals, and but there's a lack of skills, I would say employable skills with these institutions are parting. One. Second, even with the best of universities and college, and India happens to be a country where IIM and institutions of that stature are regarded as the top institutions of the world, it is very difficult to get through any of these colleges. And even students getting 97%, 98% students, they find it very difficult to secure a seat in the college. And even if they do, they find it very difficult to get the subjects of their choice. So study abroad obviously comes as a big respite, and it is diversified by location. They want to get choice of countries, which is form of education they want to get, duration, I would say number of years or months they're taking these education in, and obviously the learning goals of these individuals. I wanted to ask Dr. Rajiv, if you see the current scenario, destination obviously is becoming important, and it becomes important both when I talk about international as well as India. International, we had two reasons why people went, and the choice of destination was governed by the safety of their child, locations which had lesser crime, and second was the it was linked with opportunities to work during the course of their education and after they completed their course. And if you look at today's situation, we see online learning, which seems to be a big winner across all education levels. And and there's a greater opportunity today that we see as expanding, which is online. And we see a bigger model which is coming up, which is a blended model of education, where we also have face-to-face interaction with lecturers, and we also have an online education coming in. While what remains maybe in the times to come after 1 year is still something which remains to be seen. But we see a lot of these companies, institutions, universities, and all the education sector at large. They have kind of come out with a model which is blended, and we also hear very frequently now the word internationalization of education, where all the international curriculum which people want, maybe sitting in India, I don't have to go, and maybe I take that experience online, put that curriculum in my own education structure. If you look at the reports by Deloitte, they also have come out with a survey that students today feel a big absence of global level curriculum, and which leaves them little unprepared for long-term careers. How, according to you, you've seen all across, you work with all these companies in the education sector, how do you see that getting evolved? One, and if you look at both these businesses which you talked about, work from home, and the other is our study abroad business, between these two businesses, how do you see internalization coming in, and what kind of a level of expertise do you think the profile of people would need to compete to the current level or standards of education of today's time?
Okay, thank you, Sonia. See, my view is like this, and I'll start with the career guidance. What does a career guide do? Right from the, let's say, 8th standard. Okay, I'll take a personal example. I did this thing for my daughter when she was in 8th standard. And it was very clearly known for her from 8th standard, she will get into designing, that to product designing, because that's what it came out. And then from that 9th standard, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, she was building up her CV to become a good designer. And obviously, because of this complete build-up, she got in one of the best colleges of design school called History Design, right? In a product called System and Service Design. That's what she wanted. That was choice number one. because I had 4 years to build up my child. Right. So one of the things and she had to give in some, and by the way, what was taught in the school was of very minor importance to her. By the way, I should not discount that, but it was very minor, because for a designer in our schools, nothing is taught. Right. Either you can take science, commerce, or arts. In arts also, you talking about language and things like this. Right. Like she was an ICSE board. Obviously, she had the advantage. Few subjects were added to it, but our school was not preparing her for her future career. And that's what it came in. Now, let's first understand, no more careers like engineering, medicine, or a CA are the only career. You'll be surprised, TASA Asia research has found out that a student can go to 684 careers after 12th standard. 684 careers. We cannot answer. If you start counting, Sonia, we won't, even the best person will not be able to count more than 50. I'm talking 684.
I think more than 10, I would say. 50 is still a big number.
The best guide. I'm talking about 684. Right? We have been able to find 684 of the careers. Now, this is what we help child to choose in the starting, then choose his subjects, and then get the extra training. Now, this extra training has now helped through online. To give an example, I was surprised, but now internship during this lockdown is being offered online. I've seen summer schools who are being offered online. Programming like, vision board. See a simple thing. Can you help a child in 9th standard to find his vision board? Can he find his vision? Right? If you find the vision, then your things are clear to him and you're only helping him to go to that vision. Then he will do all those extra courses through MOOCs, blended learning, all those areas. This I'm talking from the angle of school. Right? Now coming to college. In college, I think, especially for a place like India, online and blended is a big advantage, because we don't have, in especially colleges and university which are not in main cities, good teachers. Right? So this technology will supplement, and we can train the teachers to take master class only instead of teaching it. Right? So if the institute and the students use this technology, if you ask me, that's my vision. Okay. In fact, that's my next business plan, to launch something in that space. But if you blend it, I give you an example. Why only 43% engineers are employable? The reason is the fundamentals are not ready. They don't know. They don't know the basic of something like thermodynamics. Right? If you teach them the basic of thermodynamics, he will learn further, because the professor who taught him is somebody who has passed, who is senior, 2 years senior. He himself doesn't know what is basic of thermodynamics, and he's the rote learning comes in. Right? That's a precise reason that the students are not employable, or engineers or MBAs. So in India, education is not supposed to be the best career you can have. That's first is changing by private sector, by the way. The best international schools take the best people, the best university take the best people, right. They take people from the corporate, the best people are being taken. But what about others? The others which are not able to afford, or because of location, according to me, blended learning is a right way for India to go. I hope that our education systems starts adapting this. I'm seeing a lot of steps being taken by the government and by individual, trustees and owners. And I am very hopeful. By the way, I'm very, very hopeful. Talking internationally, if you were doing international course, you were always allowed to take, for example, in a semester from 3 credits, you can take 1 credit online. It was allowed. If you're studying a master's in US, you were allowed to take 1 credit out of 3 credits. So which was being used. So internationally, it was, already being used, US and Canada. Not in India. They were looking at there were 2 divides of the wall. One was online, and other was the physical face-to-face is what we call. But I think time has come, and because of C-19, COVID-19, they will be hastening up. And obviously, you need to invest in infrastructure. You will in the tech infrastructure. You will have to reorient the professors, teachers. But I think whichever institutes start doing it, I think we will be, our education level, the quality education issue, what we have a challenge today, will be taken care of.
Great. I think that was a very relevant point, Dr. Rajiv, that you made. Now, since we're talking about 2 business models, one is work from home, you work as a business counselor, and the other is TASA Asia opportunity, which is study abroad. If somebody opts for the business counselor, which is work from home, and he gets a referral for study abroad, do you think there would be a difference in the commission structure, or the model? Can they do that?
Yes,
Because it's a referral business.
yes. Sorry. Yes, see, it's but logical, because in this, the person is just referencing, because the rest of the job is being done by the somebody else. So the money gets divided. You know, the more people, the more money get divided. Whereas in a study abroad outlet, he's doing from end-to-end services, right? So it's simple logic. More people into it, the more division, because the pie is same, the cake is same. You know, it's 100 rupees which will get divided.
Right. And the training which is imparted to work from home partner, would that involve all the training which is required for study abroad, understanding the
That will be
dynamics?
done from if they reach L4 level. So L1, L2, L3, no. See, L1, L2, L3 just is mainly focused on domestic. So at L1 they will be trained to counsel school students. At L2 they will be trained to counsel college students. At L3 level they'll be trained to counsel a professional, which is 0 to 8 years. Right, from L4 then they will be trained to also counsel the international students, and at L5 they will be trained to counsel how to manage the institution, how to manage a school, how to manage a college. So large. So that's why I said, if I try to train somebody from L1 to L5, they won't be able to take the training, right? Because you need to experience training. You know, it will be just a theoretical training. And again, I don't want to take a chance with the career of the students, because the problem which we're trying to solve, I don't want to add to the problem.
Very helpful, very helpful. We're already past the time. So Rajesh, in the interest of time, I think the questions are still coming in, which our teams would follow up and take one-on-one with you, because we have got a lot of interest since I think the communication went out for 30,000 rupees a franchise. So it's a kind of a no cost kind of a franchise. So a lot of people would like to get into that. So our teams would be in touch with your offices. So last remarks from you and Sonia, and then we can close the session.
Okay. Thank you very much, Gaurav. First, let me thank you, Sonia, Franchiseindia team. You have been great, great support, great help, and together we'll make a difference. This particular model, which we spoke of, work from home, as I told you, is a social for business, a business model, what we have created. And it's a social problem which we are trying to create, because as I told you, that one line of Dr. Abdul Kalam is what is driving me in this. And we want to add to India, and I'm looking at support from people. Obviously, it's a business, but it's a social for business, what we're looking at. The other model of ours, which is TASA Asia, study abroad. Okay, that's a business, less of social, but obviously because this is for people who can afford to go abroad, that's for them. But we're also trying to guide them in the right manner. We are trying to take out all wrong things what is happening in the industry. We're giving the right guidance, right product, right country, right career to the students. And so thank you for all the support. And I hope more and more people will join either of the business models. But as I said, the motto is very different. Work from home is most of a social for business, whereas the international business is a business model, but in a space of education, what we have launched. And I'm requesting all of you to help realize, which could be my dream, which can become our dream, that we are able to help, let's say, 20, 25 lakh students, help them in choosing the right choice of their career and helping them in their career.
Thank you, Rajesh. Over to you, Sonia.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv. It was very interesting for us to go through a lot of the information that you shared with us and with your own experience in this industry. And for all the viewers we have today, it is very important element, Rajiv ji, you also put that in your presentation. It's a low investment and high return. And we are posed with this question every time we are sharing opportunities with our investor. They're always looking at something which is low on investment, but they give high returns, and they also have a lower risk involved. I'd like to add, the very few opportunities which are available, because more risk means higher returns. There's nothing like the other side. But the only opportunity which can give you this is the investment in self. And I feel this investment in self can come from businesses like TASA Asia, or becoming a counselor yourself, which is return on time on your own time, then the investment being put. And most of you out here, you've been working, your professionals or various businesses that you've been, you would have much more investment which is required in the business. All we need here is the acumen, we need your time, we need a zest to learn. and balance your passion with wisdom. Don't let your passion take over your decisions. Passion will move you forward, but knowledge is something which will point you towards the right direction. So thank you so much, Dr. Rajiv, for this session, and we really hope that we are helpful in realizing your dream in the education industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a ton.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Over to you, Archana, for the final remark.
So thank you so much, Gaurav sir. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am. Thank you so much, Rajiv sir, for taking our time. And we really wish your safety and everything, keeping you in Bombay. That's for everyone who has joined from Bombay. Please do take care of yourself. With this, friends, you can see in
We lost Archana's voice. So if you want to reach us, you can reach us on LinkedIn. Both Sonia and I am available. And if you have more questions, you can also write to gm@gauravmaria.com. So I'll repeat again, gm@gauravmaria.com. So if you want to have more questions on any particular topic you want to hear, or any other industry you want more stats on, or any other information you want on a business model and so on and so forth, so please reach us. What is happening tomorrow, we can show. So tomorrow we have another interesting opportunity started by two brothers. They are co-founders. Ankur is joining from there, and they run a fabulous brand called Burger, which is obviously the name itself says it's a grill-based burger concept. Very, very strong on delivery. They have built huge practices to really champion delivery businesses. So we have that tomorrow. So if you're interested in food delivery business and food F&B business, then you can join in tomorrow. Thank you very much. Rajivji, just to add, we also have a lot of consultants, our independent franchise consultants. They are spread all over India. So they also have a lot of clients of theirs, which they represent them on this call. So they would also reach out to you and reach your office and maybe somebody in your team to take their potential investors to the next level. Thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, Gaurav sir, I lost my audio in between. So thank you so much for taking that from my side. So thank you so much, friends, for joining us. As rightly said by Gaurav sir, we are there to help you. Please take good care of yourself and also your family. Thank you so much. Best wishes for the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.